Most men don't realize it yet, but they're already losing their power, losing their respect, losing their women. And the worst part? They don't even know why. They wake up every day wondering why she left, why she stopped loving them, why she's suddenly unsure about her feelings. They show up to work wondering why they keep getting overlooked, why their boss keeps using them but never rewarding them. They look in the mirror and hate what they see. A man who works hard, does everything right, but somehow keeps losing. And if you don't wake up right now, if you don't learn what I'm about to teach you, you'll keep losing. Your relationships will keep falling apart. Your money will keep disappearing. Your respect will keep getting stolen. Until one day, you wake up a broken man with nothing left. But today that stops. Today, you learn the art of war. Not the war of guns and bombs. Not the war they teach you in history books. The war of life. The war that's happening right now. In your relationships, in your workplace, in your daily battles for power, respect, and control. And if you master these 7 strategies, you will never lose again. You will never be abandoned again. You will never be disrespected again. You will never let another person take what is rightfully yours. Because once you understand these rules, life stops being a battle you keep losing and becomes a game you control. But if you ignore this, if you brush this off, if you save it for later, if you tell yourself, this doesn't apply to me, then let me be brutally honest with you. You deserve to lose. Because the truth is, you've been lied to your entire life. They told you hard work is enough. But if that were true, every construction worker would be rich. They told you, just be a good man, and love will find you. But if that were true, the nicest men wouldn't be getting cheated on. They told you, follow the rules, and you'll be successful. But if that were true, the richest men in history wouldn't have broken every rule. Everything they taught you is designed to keep you weak. But today, that changes. Because today, you take back your power. Before we begin, comment below, I refuse to lose. If you don't have the guts to type that, then you're already losing. But if you do, then get ready, because what you're about to learn will change everything. Number 1, know your enemy. Know yourself. Most men are fighting battles they don't even realize exist. They think their enemy is their ex-girlfriend who suddenly lost feelings. Their boss who refuses to recognize their hard work. Their friend who betrayed them. But the truth is, none of these are your real enemies. The real enemy is ignorance. The battle isn't fought when she leaves you. It was lost long before, when you failed to recognize the shift in her behavior. It's not lost when your boss overlooks you. It was lost when you entered the game without a strategy. Sun Tzu said, if you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. But if you know neither, you will lose over and over again. This is where most men fail. They live in reaction mode. They move blindly through life, hoping things work out, hoping women stay loyal, hoping they get rewarded for being a good guy. But hope is for the weak. The strong man studies. The strong man prepares. The strong man knows the rules of the game before he plays. Women respect men who understand them more than they respect men who love them. That's why the nice guy, the one who showers her with attention and devotion, gets ignored, ghosted, and dumped. While the man who understands her psychology, the one who knows that she craves challenge, uncertainty, and emotional highs and lows, keeps her obsessed. It's painful to admit, but the moment you get this, everything changes. The same applies to money. If you don't understand how power works, how the top 1% control wealth, how society is structured to keep you weak and dependent, you'll be a pawn forever. The 9-to-5 rat race wasn't designed to make you rich. It was designed to keep you just comfortable enough to keep working, but never free. In war, the enemy who studies his opponent's strengths and weaknesses already has the advantage. In life, the man who studies female psychology, social dynamics, money, and power structures is already miles ahead of the guy who just hopes for success. If you don't know yourself, you don't even know what kind of life you want. You don't know what kind of woman is best for you. You don't know how far. You can push yourself before you break. This is why men crumble under pressure, because they never train their minds for battle. So the first rule? Learn everything. Study yourself. What are your weaknesses? What are your strengths? Are you a leader or a follower? Do you crumble when tested, or do you thrive under pressure? Then study the game, women, money, social dynamics. Learn what they don't teach you in school. Because once you know both yourself and the battlefield, you never have to fear another battle again. Number 2, control the battlefield. Most men walk in a life blind. They wake up every morning and life happens to them. They don't set the rules. They don't control the direction. They just react to whatever comes their way. And that's why they lose. If you're following someone else's rules, you're playing their game. And if it's their game, they already know how to win. Look at relationships. The moment you start chasing, you give up control. She now dictates the terms. She decides when to text back, when to meet up, when to leave you. And because you're playing by her rules, you never even realize how you lost her until she's gone. The men who keep women obsessed are the ones who make her enter their world. They don't adjust their schedules for her. They don't beg for her attention. They create a life so magnetic, so powerful that she wants to be a part of it. This is why powerful men don't get dumped. Women can't walk away from something they fear, losing more than anything else. In the workplace, the same rules apply. Employees follow the rules. The boss creates them. Which one do you think makes more money? Which one do you think gets respect, freedom, and power? It's war. And the battlefield belongs to the one who designs it. Ever notice how the most successful men always control the setting? High-status men don't meet in places that make them uncomfortable. They don't negotiate in positions of weakness. They make sure everything plays to their advantage before the battle even starts. In social circles, the highest value man is never the one seeking approval. He's the one who sets the tone. He decides where they go, what they do, who's in and who's out. People gravitate toward him because he controls the energy. If you're constantly reacting to life, if you're always the one chasing, if you're always the one asking for permission, you're not the one in control. And if you're not in control, you will be controlled. Think about it. When you text first, call first, plan first, invest first, you're doing all the work. And that means the other person has all the power. Ever notice how a woman gets distant the moment you start giving her everything she asks for? That's because she never truly wanted control. She wanted to be influenced, to be led. But when you gave her all the power, the game was over. Women respect men who set the pace. In war, the side that controls the battlefield controls the outcome. That's why ancient generals would manipulate their enemies into attacking first. Because when the enemy moves first, they lose their advantage. In life, the man who chooses the battles always has the edge. A woman who starts drama? Ignore her. A boss who undervalues you? Set boundaries. A friend who disrespects you? Cut them off instantly. The moment you make other people react to you, you've already won. Number 3, strike where they least expect. Most men fight battles the hard way. They go straight into the fire, right where their enemy is strongest, and they wonder why they keep getting burned. A woman loses feelings, and the weak man begs for her back. A boss disrespects him, and he complains about not getting a raise. A friend backstabs him, and he argues, trying to make things right. This is what losers do. They fight in obvious ways. They fight emotionally, and in doing so, they lose before they even begin. The strongest warrior doesn't attack his enemy head-on. He strikes where they least expect. Look at relationships. When a woman pulls away, most men panic. They text more. They call more. They chase. But what does that do? It proves her decision right. She was already feeling distant, and now he looks weaker than ever. But the man who understands power does the opposite. He pulls back harder. If she stops texting, he stops caring. If she stops chasing, he disappears. And suddenly, she's the one feeling lost. Because a woman expects a man to react emotionally. She expects him to prove his love. But when he does the unexpected, when he vanishes instead, she feels fear. She wonders why he isn't reacting. And that fear, that's what makes her reconsider. The same thing happens at work. If your boss refuses to recognize your value, the weak man complains. He demands a raise. He threatens to quit. But what happens? He's replaced instantly. But the strong man? He doesn't complain. He strikes where they least expect. Instead of begging, he builds his options. He works silently, stacking up offers. He removes himself from the battlefield. And then, one day, He walks in and quits without warning. Now the boss panics. Now the company realizes how valuable he was. Because they expected him to stay. They expected him to keep accepting disrespect. But when he moved unexpectedly, when he left them scrambling, he proved his worth in one single move. The truth is, most people don't expect you to leave. They don't expect you to stop caring. That's why people treat you like you're replaceable until you're gone. This is why the silent warrior always wins. The weak man is loud, predictable, emotional. The strong man is calm, calculated, unreadable. He doesn't play fair. He doesn't fight where he is weakest. He fights where his enemy never saw him coming. That's why the woman who thought she could do better comes back when you stop chasing. The job that undervalued you panics when you walk away. The friend who backstabbed you regrets it when you move on effortlessly. Because your silence is more powerful than any argument. The best way to win a fight? Make them realize they never had control in the first place. Number 4, make others move first. In war, the first army to attack always exposes itself. The same rule applies to life. A woman wants you to chase first. A boss wants you to beg first. Your enemies want you to react first. Because the moment you do, you lose. A woman isn't attracted to a man who chases. She's attracted to a man she can't figure out. Ever notice how a woman loses interest the moment she knows you're all in? But the man who makes her wonder, who gives just enough but never too much, keeps her obsessed. This is why women test men. They want to see if you'll break under pressure, if you'll get emotional, if you'll start chasing. And the moment you do, it's over. The same thing happens in business. A job interview. If you talk first, if you rush to accept an offer, you lose. But if you stay calm, silent, unreadable, the other person starts over-explaining. They start justifying, because silence makes people nervous. Think about arguments. Who has the power? The person talking nonstop, defending themselves, or the one sitting back, watching, waiting, observing? The loudest person is always the weakest. The one who can wait the longest always wins. This is why you never confess your feelings first. Get emotional first. Show your next move first. The world expects you to react, to get upset, to beg, to explain yourself, to chase, to fight back emotionally. But the strong man does the opposite. He watches. He waits. He lets his enemy reveal their hand. Because the one who reacts first always loses. You think a woman leaves because she's not feeling it? No. She starts fights to see how you'll react. If you chase, if you over-explain, if you beg, you failed the test. But if you stay calm, unbothered, unreadable, if you walk away without a word, she starts overthinking. She wonders if she made a mistake. She realizes she lost control. This is why the strongest man in the room is the one who speaks the least. Number 5. Win without fighting. The strongest men don't fight. They make others surrender before the battle even starts. Think about it. The most powerful rulers in history didn't maintain control by constantly being at war. The smartest generals didn't waste their soldiers on endless battles. They made the enemy destroy themselves. They made the opposition too scared, too uncertain, too exhausted to even think about fighting back. This is exactly how you need to move through life. The moment you understand how to win without fighting, you realize that most battles aren't worth fighting in the first place. A woman starts pulling away. You don't argue. You let her go. And as soon as she realizes you don't need her, she comes back chasing. An enemy starts plotting against you. You don't rush and like. Number 6, strike fast and it faster. Most men hesitate. They see the red flags in a woman, but they stay. They know their boss is exploiting them, but they keep quiet. They feel disrespected by a friend, but they let it slide, and then they wonder why their life isn't changing. Weak men hesitate because they hope things will get better. But the truth? Things never get better on their own. They get worse. A woman who disrespects you once will do again. A boss who undervalues you will never start paying you more out of kindness. A so-called friend who betrays you will do it again the moment they get another chance. The difference between weak men and strong men? Weak men let it slide. Strong men end it instantly. In life, the longer you drag out a battle, the more energy you waste. You think staying in a toxic relationship, trying to work things out, is noble? No. All you're doing is crossmark losing time, crossmark losing energy, crossmark losing self-respect. You think staying at a job that doesn't appreciate you, hoping they'll finally see your worth, is smart? No. All you're doing is wasting your years for a company that will replace you in a second. You think keeping fake friends around, giving them second chances, is what good men do? No. All you're doing is allowing snakes to stay in your circle. Strong men don't hesitate. The moment they see crossmark disrespect, crossmark betrayal, crossmark weakness, they cut it off fast. A woman disrespects you, she's gone. No argument. No explanation. A boss takes you for granted, you leave. And when they try to counteroffer, you remind them they should have valued you before. A friend betrays you, you remove them from your life so fast. They don't even have time to explain. Because time is your most valuable resource. The moment you let things drag out, you've already lost. Look at history. The greatest warriors, the greatest strategists, the greatest winners, they all understood one thing. The fastest victory is the most powerful one. Number 7, be formless, be untouchable. The reason weak men lose? They are predictable. They have the same routines, the same reactions, the same habits, and that's why they keep getting played. A woman knows exactly how you'll react, so she manipulates you. Your boss knows you'll never quit, so he underpays you. Your enemies know you'll always explain yourself, so they make you look weak. Weak men are easy to read, and that makes them easy to control. But the strong man? He is unpredictable. He is formless. No one knows what he'll do next, and that makes him dangerous. Look at water. Droplet, it takes any shape. Droplet, it moves in ways no one can stop. That's how a strong man moves through life. A woman pulls away. He doesn't chase, he vanishes. A boss refuses to give him a raise. He doesn't argue. He builds something bigger on his own. A friend starts acting fake. He doesn't confront them. He disappears. And suddenly, everyone realizes they lost him. Why most men lose? A weak man is too easy to understand. A strong man keeps people guessing. A woman can't figure him out, so she stays obsessed. A boss can't predict his next move, so he gets respect. His enemies can't manipulate him, so they fear him. Being formless means never allowing people to put you in a box. Never allowing people to get comfortable disrespecting you. Never allowing people to think they have you figured out. If you're predictable, you're replaceable. This is why women lose interest in the nice guy. She already knows how he thinks, how he acts, how he reacts. There's no challenge, no mystery, no power. But when a man is unpredictable, when a woman can't read his next move, she stays hooked. She fears losing him. This is how you win the game. Be unreadable. Be adaptable. Move like water. The moment they think they have you figured out, change the game. And just like that, you become untouchable. The rules they never wanted you to know. Everything you've just heard. These are the rules of power. The rules they never wanted you to know. The weak man ignores them. He hears the truth, but does nothing. He stays weak. He stays confused. He stays lost. And one day, he wakes up and realizes he wasted his life. He wasted it chasing women who never respected him. He wasted it waiting for promotions that never came. He wasted it trusting friends who stabbed him in the back. He ignored the truth, and the truth punished him. But the strong man? The strong man hears these rules and acts on them. He doesn't just nod his head. He doesn't just think that's interesting. He applies them immediately. He stops chasing people who don't respect him. He stops begging for things he should be taking. He stops living life on someone else's terms. And because of that, he never loses again. Now you decide. That's the choice in front of you right now. Do you stay the same, hoping things will magically get better? Or do you wake up, apply these rules, and start winning every battle in your life?